It is the Be Our Guest program brought to you by the Greater Mason City Chamber of Commerce here on your hometown news station, AM 1300 KGLO, streaming live online at KGLOAM.com, as well as on our KGLO News Facebook page. And before we get to our guest on Be Our Guest, we have to mention, if you did listen to the newscast earlier this morning, the Greater Mason City Chamber of Commerce has been named one of the 4 winners of the Chamber of the Year Award presented by the Association of Chamber of Commerce Executives, an association based in Alexandria, Virginia, with over 1,600 chambers of commerce and related business and economic development organizations as members, representing more than 9,000 professionals in the industry. And the award is the most prestigious and competitive award in the chamber industry, recognizing excellence in operations, member service, and community leadership. And I want to congratulate the Greater Mason City Chamber of Commerce staff as they won the award back in 2022. And I think this is the first year, Colleen might correct me in a future appearance by her on if that's right, whether they first year they were eligible after winning the award in 2022. But the Category 1 winner announced last night. They had their annual convention for the Association of Chamber of Commerce Executives down in New Orleans last night, and the awards were passed out. That convention goes on in New Orleans this week. Okay, that's all taken care of. We needed to definitely thank them, and once again, great organization here in Mason City helping everybody out, including our guest today, Dezarae Fish from Phoenix Consulting, who we wish you good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm good.
We were just talking before, and we're both glad that it's, I know I made the comment earlier, and somebody has already given me some grief on Facebook when I was talking with Pete Helmstead with the DOT about the weather conditions changing. For some reason, I said, bring on winter. I'm just like, and then I thought, what am I talking about?
Right.
Well, I don't want winter.
Let's do fall first. Let's get some cool air.
That's the way I corrected myself. I'm like, let's do mid-fall before we get to the winter. But Dezarae, you're a native around here, right?
Yes. Yep. I've been around Mason City, Clear Lake my whole life, Rockwell, surrounding areas.
Graduated from West Fork?
Yes.
All right. And then now you've had this business, Phoenix Consulting, for a couple of years?
Yep. I started it back in 2023. And at the beginning of the year, I decided this year was the year I'm going to go do all the things that I have been not, confident enough to do previously. Right. So,
well, talk about what is Phoenix Consulting?
Yes. So Phoenix Consulting is a business operations consulting business that I started. And we focus on a couple of different things for people. One of those things is ghostwriting, which is basically I would do the writing work for somebody and they get all the credit for it. We do customized training programs where I would go in and establish a training process for a specific business, and everything would be built around that business and how they operate. And then we do leadership development, which is basically just one-on-one with either me and an employee, or even if it's not through an employment, just me and another person, just working through some of those things that might be holding them back from getting to the next where they want to go. And then just business analytics, where I just come in and look at to see how your business is operating and what's potentially holding that business back from achieving the next level.
Well, let's break down, those, some of those things that you mentioned here, and maybe some people, they may hear ghostwriting, and of course, some people may even hear social media and be like, I don't know about any of that stuff.
Yes.
Ghostwriting, obviously we're dealing with social media, trying to get a message out, and obviously you have some methods that, like I say, just being able to do it for someone and trying to promote their business or efforts in a better way.
Yep. Everything would be written in their voice. It wouldn't be written in mine trying to be them. It would be, me writing in their voice and not someone else's voice. That goes for social media and like newsletters and landing pages. And then like technical writing for businesses who need training manuals or user manuals and stuff like that.
And I'll probably do this, off and on through our conversation. What's a landing page?
A landing page is like a website, but you drive traffic to them in hopes of capturing somebody's email. So it's almost like a digital sales funnel. Sure.
Newsletters, and that's something that, we've seen throughout time with the evolution of email. And what are, some of the things when people are thinking about maybe if they want to have a newsletter that they're distributing, what kind of things would be included in those newsletters?
It just depends on the person, but really what it is there is a way to automate the newsletters. And so you can write the content and then have it you write it once, and then through the automation that you can set up with like the landing pages and stuff like that, it will automatically deliver to someone's email. And so then that way you don't have to go in and draft the newsletter every single time and then go in and select this group of people and send it physically. You just write it once and you set it up so that it automatically delivers to them at a specific time that you determine.
Sure. Well, that's, something that people need to think about.
Right.
Ghostwriting, obviously, as you kind of mentioned, with what we just talked about too. I mean, some people write things great. Some people try to put their thoughts down into words, and sometimes it just doesn't come out right, does it?
Right. Yep. I've been there.
Customized training programs. What kind of training might you be talking about?
Really just any sort of training. So most of what I had done previously in previous employment was training for operational training. And so like a new employee would start and I would be the person that would train them on how to, we'd go through the employee manual, we'd go through the handbook, and then we'd be hip to hip. And so then I would train them on how to do the operations behind, whatever it was that we were doing within the business. And I helped build those programs and implement those programs. And so it's one of those things that it's a structure, it's a framework that can be applied to any business, not just franchises.
And with that and leadership development, that's something, as you kind of alluded to, you have some experience with in the past with a couple of local businesses.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. Because before this, I was at Cabin Coffee where I had started. I started off as a barista, just as everybody else, and then throughout the years, I became their head trainer and their franchise trainer. I did a lot of their development stuff, a lot of their training. We created a certified trainers program, which was training trainers on how to train,
right?
And a bunch of different things. And so it's something, like I said, it's like a framework that can be applied to any business, not just a franchise or not just Cabin Coffee or Buffalo Wild Wings, which is where I was before. Right. And yeah, it's just something that you can take and you can mold it and shape it however you need to and make it your own.
Talk about business analytics and what that all entails.
I know this word, nobody likes the word audit, but it's basically I would come in and quote unquote audit your business. Right. Nothing scary. I'm not like looking at your finances or anything like that. Just operations and seeing how things work. How is your communication, your chain of communication? Is there a plug somewhere where communication is not traveling up or down, and what's going on there? Why is that happening? Or, are we actually working efficiently, or are we just saying that we're working efficiently? So it's basically just, I come in and I act like a shadow on the wall and just evaluate things to see how they're actually operating.
There's no business that runs completely smooth, I'm guessing.
Right. And the biggest thing is like, you can say that you do those things, but a lot of the time the problem is the lack of accountability and the lack of follow-up. You can implement these customized training programs and the leadership development all you want, but if there's no accountability to reinforce what you're teaching and what you're learning, then it's just going to fall apart.
No, you've got a workshop coming up that some people might be interested in.
Yes, August 26th from 11 to 12:30 p.m. at the Greater Mason City Chamber of Commerce. I'm hosting a training blueprint workshop. It is free. We will go through the common mistakes that I see and how to fix them, and you'll walk away with an action plan on things you can start implementing that day or that week or that month, and kind of give you a better idea of like, what's the problem I'm experiencing and how do I fix it?
What are some of the common mistakes?
Well, it's a loaded question. So when it comes to training, a lot of the mistakes I see, I like to call it the sink or swim method. A new employee starts and they just are expected to figure it out on their own. And that then turns into high turnover or employee disengagement because they're not happy. They don't feel like they're given the time of day to properly learn their job. And it just, why would you want to stick around with that? Employee and employer relationships are more important than we like to realize. It is a relationship, and so it needs to be treated as a relationship. It's a two-way street, not a one-way street. And so if you want employees to stay and be happy and engaged, then you need to work on how you are doing that.
What is that? And once again, you said that was free, and
yes.
Just the chamber office downtown.
Yep. So I will be the sign up form is live. So feel free to follow me on Facebook. It's just Phoenix Consulting. I will have that on there. I will probably post it on my website as well. The website is a little bit of a mouth jumble. So just follow me on Facebook. I have the link to my website on there, and we'll have the form. There's only 25 spots available as of right now. So get your spot before it's gone.
Okay. And anything else you want to add before we let you go about your business?
I'm looking for clients.
Well, hopefully,
if anybody's interested,
hopefully we'll get you a few here.
Yes, I sure hope so.
Listen to this interview, and hopefully people can come down to that workshop that you're going to have and see a little bit more about your business and your services that you provide.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I appreciate you joining us, and good luck with everything here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We'll look forward to visiting with you again sometime in the future. So,
all right.
Dezarae Fish with Phoenix Consulting is our guest on the Be Our Guest program today here on KGLO, brought to you by the Greater Mason City Chamber of Commerce. As it's